Sick Harrison Price from the Historic Wall Center, and we link up with our dear friend Jeff Marek, the host of The Sheet, here weekdays on the Nation Network from a hotel room in Brantford, Ontario, home of the great one, Wayne Gretzky. How are you, Jeff?
I am well. Can I tell a really quick Walter Gretzky story if we have time? It'll take
sure.
60 seconds. So a good buddy of mine who lives here plays men's league every Tuesday night, and this is a number of years ago when Walter was still with us, because Walter would be sort of known to show up at various hockey rinks just to hang out, watch the kids, and be Walter Gretzky, Canada's hockey dad. And he said there was one night they're playing like the dreaded 10:30 start, and they're getting blown out in the first period, and he said out of nowhere, Walter Gretzky walks on the bench and says, "You guys suck. You need a coach. I'm coaching you the rest of the way." And so for the rest of the game, Walter Gretzky coached his men's league team. They still lost, but they have a story now for all of eternity that Walter Gretzky thought they were so bad that he needed to get on the bench for their beer league team, guys.
That's right.
Walter was awesome. He just lived around the rink, and at the TD Civic Center where the Bulldogs play here, there's still a chair right in the corner, right in sort of Scout's corner or Hockey Dad's corner for Walter Gretzky.
I'm not Walter Gretzky, but I get where it's coming from, Jeff. As my fourth is getting close to aging out of minor hockey, I don't know what I'm going to do with my free time.
I know.
I think I have a younger niece, so I may just glom onto her team. But I may just jump onto benches now and see what happens.
When you say you're fourth, of course, you mean you're 2009, 2010.
My 26.
You're 26.
My 26. Yeah.
Right. It's funny too, because I'm not really scared of much in life. We all hit a certain level, this doesn't scare me, whatever. I'm scared of the last drive.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I am terrified of the last drive.
You should be. It sucks.
Even Blake, just listening to you talk about this, I get really uncomfortable. I don't want the last drive.
I've only graduated 3, and every time I know it's the last drive, it sucks. So, yeah.
Oh, I hate it. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about something else.
Let's talk about the last days of Elias Pettersson in Vancouver, ? There's talk that fresh start, change of scenery, that he's thought about that, and there's renewed interest in the Canucks centerman. What do you think?
So I was having a conversation with someone this morning. Let's call this person a person of influence around the National Hockey League. And again, this is, a talk radio conversation on a Friday afternoon. Would it make some sense for the Pittsburgh Penguins? Now, we all know that Rutherford loves dealing with his old team, same as Patrick Allvin. And this would, of course, be predicated on Malkin not returning. But would, something like a Horkoff, Girard, Novak, 2 second-rounders, and Pittsburgh takes Elias Pettersson, does that sound like it gets the deal done? Now, to make the money work, that means, of course, that Malkin doesn't come back and Samuel Girard doesn't come back. He actually could be part of a package going back to the Vancouver Canucks. When you look at sort of motivations from each side, it does make some sense. We have to remember one thing about Kyle Dubas. Like many other general managers before him, he's no stranger to this, but it's really pronounced with Dubas here. Glenn Sather may have been the most famous for this vibe, but Dubas really is in love with the reclamation project, right? He always has been. Even going back to his time in junior hockey with the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, you could make the argument that hiring Sheldon Keefe was a reclamation project for Kyle Dubas. So this is a story that's well told around hockey about Kyle. Loves the reclamation projects, and this would be one of the big ones, right? Because he still doesn't have, as much as Dubas has done a really good job, and a lot of people have mentioned this, picking around the edges and tidying things up and doing small things really, really well, and getting the Pittsburgh Penguins poised for a world without Sidney Crosby, doesn't have a face card yet. He doesn't have that deal, and he doesn't have that player. I wonder about Pittsburgh. If
I'll buy into it for this reason too.
Couple of things.
Their cap space is really interesting for next year because I think we can assume Malkin's not coming back. Just for a bunch. Does he? Okay. Well, we'll see.
Yes,
he would be back at reduced rate. Yeah, but they've got 3.6 buried right now with buyout history for Jack Johnson, with Matt Dumba buried in the minors, and as long as you're bringing back Malkin on reduced freight or not at all, I mean, there's $9.6 million in a room already, and you've already got $11 million right now. So there's potentially $20 million in space.
Well, and he's moving out Gerard to you at $5 million. They're awash in cap space right now. Like, they have as much cap space as anybody amongst playoff teams.
And it's not like they have the Whopper on the horizon either, right?
Right.
It's not like you're the San Jose Sharks saying, okay, and we got to deal with Celebrini here too. So I know it looks like we have a ton of cap space, but really player X and maybe player Y are going to absorb it. I've had this conversation early this morning. I've been thinking about it sort of all day, and I keep talking myself into this idea that if there is a team that has the motivation and the space to do it, and again, predicated with Malkin not coming back, maybe it's the Pittsburgh Penguins year.
But they could do it now if they wanted to, though. If they really wanted to bolster, they could do it now.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Especially with Sid out.
And when Jeff says Horkoff, he means William Horkoff, who is the son of Sean.
Yeah,
who is the son of Sean. He's a 6'5" forward. He was the 24th overall pick last year. He's already outperformed that draft position. 22 goals, 34 points in 33 games for Michigan, and he was excellent for the U.S. team at the World Junior Championships as well. No,
sure was.
I had not heard anybody draw that connection to the
If only
Pittsburgh
there was
Penguins.
a connection between the Canucks and the Penguins, then I could really see it work.
Yeah, we're really straining on that one, Blake. That was the pill that goes down sideways.
And let's just hammer this on the nose too. The GM in Pittsburgh, he's a stats guy. He understands the details that Elias Pettersson does get done, even when he's not scoring. So that doesn't hurt the theory as well.
What do you think, Jeff?
Just a theory. Just a theory.
We've been talking, like, is this the last best chance to trade Pettersson for the Canucks? Do you think it could actually happen here by next Friday? Do you think it should happen here?
I think this is one of those seasons where I find myself, because generally I'm cynical, right? Like, this is just from being a hockey fan since I was 5-6 years old, and then it became my career somehow, and just being around it my whole life. I've always been sort of predisposed to cynicism, and now that's not going to happen, and no, this isn't going to happen, and generally as a default setting, that's the correct way to be around hockey. But this season, I really do have a feeling that sort of all bets are off. Yeah. And I find it myself. Usually, there's like a couple of teams that you say that around and about, but this year, I'm prepared to be surprised. Where once upon a time, it was like, you remember when Anthony Mantha for Jacob Vrana shocked everybody?
Yes,
just stunned everybody. Right now, a trade like that doesn't get anywhere near the mentions. Because right now what we're seeing in the NHL is whoppers. And here's another reason, as I talk myself into this. I think what teams have understood now, given what happened early in the season with Kaprizov signing and Kyle Connor signing and Adrian Kempe signing, and of course Connor McDavid, the big one out of all this, Jack Eichel, where we thought it was going to be a summer of massive change in the NHL. And superstar free agents available. Right now, it looks like Alex Tuch may be the only big one here. I think what teams are realizing now, if you want to make a significant change to your team, it has to be by trade. It has to be by trade. You're not going to be able to go shopping and really change your team profoundly in the offseason.
No, with everybody getting cap space, it's going to be difficult to fewer and fewer free agents, as you say. So, Elias is marinating on a change of scenery. Evander Kane really wants a trade here. His agent is out there shopping him. We're told that Jake DeBrusk would greenlight a trade and waive his trade protection. Then even Brock Besser's name gets brought up last night by Darren Dreger on Insider Trading that there's action on him now. What do you think it says about the Canucks, Jeff, that all these guys seemingly would be okay going elsewhere?
first of all, you would get a nice little, you'd get like something of significance back too, to move ahead or rebuild. But having said that, what it does is when you move out a lot of these players, it does set you back, right? Whereas once upon a time, you may have thought, okay, this is going to be a bumpy ride for a couple of seasons. Once you really start to strip this thing down, you know, I don't know if they're going to go the path of the San Jose Sharks or the Chicago Blackhawks and take it right down to nuts and bolts. But what it does is it really, really sets you back, unless, and this is what the Pittsburgh Penguins have been able to pull off with Dubas here, who's gone through his career's second-time general manager work here with very few mistakes outside of the Jari contract. What it does is it sets you back even further. And 2 years turns into 4 years really, really quickly. And you guys are closer to it than I am. I don't know that this organization has that type of appetite. I think they're more thinking along the lines that, you know, in war, a slight retreat can still be an offensive posture, right? I think that's what they're thinking / hoping.
Yeah. Rutherford said last night that it's he doesn't think it's necessarily doable making the playoffs next year, but he says that's going to be the goal coming out of training camp, and that, you know, that sort of conflicts then with what we're seeing of back to the studs, but you're going to have the goal of the playoffs next year. Like it's sort of it's a confusing stance.
And that was on John Shannon's podcast, who went on to say the owner isn't going to greenlight a long rebuild. So
they might not want to. You know, but sometimes
you're right. It might be forced
this wasn't
upon
the plan
them
this year,
right?
It's sometimes you know, inactivity can get you to a place that you don't want to be, right? I mean, I understand Jim Rutherford saying that because, you know, season ticket renewals and all. And I don't think anyone wants that message out to the marketplace, because then all of a sudden you look at the bottom line and say, well, why are you charging this price for tickets if the goal isn't the playoffs? You know, send me the renewal back when you guys are ready to ice a competitive team. I get it. There's a lot of dynamics at play here, certainly in Vancouver. And because it is Vancouver, every move is high profile. That's just the nature of the industry and the nature of the beast and the nature of that team. But I think where, like, the Pittsburgh Penguins here in Dubas have sort of shown a little bit of a blueprint here, right? And we do hear this from, you know, Alvin and Rutherford as well. Like, Dubas won, like when he took the job, again, I've always pointed, it's a 7-year contract because you can't ask a guy to spin his wheels for 5 years because Crosby's got to retire a Penguin, Malkin, Letang. Totally. You can't let a guy spin his wheels for 3 years and say, okay, you got 2 years now to actually put together your team. That's for all the Dubas naysayers. Like, this one seemed pretty obvious. That's why there's a number 7. For Kyle Dubas's contract. And what he's done is he's gone out and, like we mentioned off the top, he's looked for young reclamation projects. Listen, I mentioned Anthony Mantha a second ago. Anthony Mantha is one of them. They tried with Cody Glass and Anthony Beauvillier and Phil Tomasino. They're trying with, you know, maybe these guys need, Jesse Puljujärvi is another one, like guys that need a change of scenery, you know, trying to find out if there's something still there, all the while building up the farm team, building up the prospects. So if you do get in a position where you can hypothetically, as we discussed, entertain a move for someone like Elias Pettersson, you have the bullets in the chamber.
Hey, this year, Igor Chinahov, you know, he was not working in Columbus. And
yes, a great one.
Arrives this year and scores.
Well, but you know, let's not gloss over Mantha. He's having a hell of a year. It's 20 goals, 43 points this year for Mantha, and coming off that major injury as well. So good on him. No, Dubas has done a very nice job there. Nobody had them as competitive for a playoff spot this year. And, of course, he's gotten raves for his recent work, too, in terms of what he turned Tristan Jarry into after the trade with Colorado, the trade for Gerard with Colorado and adding the 2 second-round picks. Talk to me about Connor Garland fits, Jeff. Who's out there looking for wingers? Who do you think could be a potential landing spot for Connor Garland? Because he is the one forward they have with no trade protection.
I've always wondered about Connor Garland and a team like the Boston Bruins. Like, he looks to me like a Boston Bruins style player. Like, I don't necessarily think that Boston is going to go take a massive swing here. You can discuss amongst yourselves whether Connor Garland would be a massive swing. And I'm doing this just based on speculation. This is not like someone from the Bruins organization whispered, like, hey, we're going after Garland here. But I've just looked at the style of player. I know he's not huge. We get that. We all know that. But as far as having a style of play that the Bruins like and that Marco Sturm can work with, that's a team that jumps to me. And the other thing about the Boston Bruins, I know he's been a piñata for a few years. Are we giving Don Sweeney enough credit? And I don't want to deflect from the question about Connor Garland, but just as an aside, because this is where you guys live too. Like, are we giving Don Sweeney enough credit?
They're way more competitive than we expected as well.
I have long
way
been
more.
a Don Sweeney fan. I have long felt him one of the best general managers in the National Hockey League, period.
Now, from St. Stephen, New Brunswick, where my family came from Ireland back in 1846, yes.
Same
St.
question
Stephen, New
on
Brunswick. Anyway.
Same question on Jake DeBrusk. It's a little more difficult. He's got trade protection. He would have to waive. All the report is that he would welcome a move somewhere else, that he didn't sign up for this, right? He thought he was joining a competitive club. What do you think? Where could you see Jake DeBrusk?
So I've wondered about Jake DeBrusk at times. I think the three of us discussed this maybe about a month ago, perhaps with a team like the Edmonton Oilers, which would make some sense here. I think a lot of it depends on where they would want to use someone like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and what they want to do, like how they want to construct a third line. I will tell you what, though, and I know it's only a couple of games, and specifically last night was a blowout, but that third line that they have with Vasily Podkolzin and Trent Frederick, and Adam Henrique, like all of a sudden, like that looks, again, it's only a couple of games, but it does look really good, and looks like Podkolzin can still play even away from Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. So I think maybe a lot of it would depend on what the Oilers want to do with their third line and who they want to use to construct it and what holes that could open up top. But I've always wondered about a fit between DeBrusk and the Edmonton Oilers.
Maybe Podkolzin for DeBrusk? No? Bring him home?
Sure that I can see. Not sure that I can see that one. Although, you know, I'll tell you what, like, listen, Leon Draisaitl loves playing with Podkolzin. That story is well told. And we always thought, like, okay, so there's the Podkolzin insurance, playing with Leon. That's it, going to be married at the hip. I think expected goals yesterday is 56% for Podkolzin yesterday specifically. Like, he can do it on his own.
Mm-hmm. Although everybody looks good last night.
Hey. Oh, I
think I was plus 56% Corsi last night versus the Kings.
Fair enough. Fair enough. No, I know that was really tough when the
while we're on that
chancer out there.
Can I just say this? Yeah. Leon Draisaitl loves playing with Vasily Podkolzin. You have no idea how that sentence lands in Vancouver.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
Like a shotgun to the skin. While we're on the topic,
I'm just calling balls and strikes.
While we're on the topic, the LA Kings look pretty damn desperate right now, don't they? They need some help. Like, or they just say we're not doing it this year, and we're not going to invest in this year.
Normally, yes. Blake, normally, yes. The wild card here is I don't think that the Los Angeles Kings want Kopitar's career to end on game 82.
Right.
I don't think they want this to be, you know, Trevor Linden and the Vancouver Canucks playing the Calgary Flames, and again, sending all the Flames out to shake his hand for being one of the best pros and for all of his work as the last president of the Players Association. I don't think LA wants that. I think that was part of the motivation, certainly for the Panarin trade, is like, we need goals here, and we want Kopitar's career to end in the playoffs and not the regular season. But so, Blake, to your point, normally I'm with you 100%. Sometimes you just got to know when it's not there, but I can't see. I cannot see.
They got to buy somebody.
The Los Angeles Kings. Well, they need goals, right? Like if the Fiala injury.
Do they ever? Oh my God, they needed goals before Fiala. Yeah. Let's move on here because Jeff's only got so much time today. We want to get to a few other things. So at the time we're recording this on Friday morning, it is still unknown on what Tyler Myers is going to decide, but the offer is confirmed by insiders, a second-round pick from the Detroit Red Wings to Vancouver for Myers. Yeah. Is that good return? Would you be happy with that?
I'd be happy with that. I'm fine with that one. I have no problem. I don't think that there's a first rounder that's out there for Tyler Myers. But yeah, absolutely. That one makes some sense. And again, like we've been talking about with the Detroit Red Wings for a while now, I think Eisman wants a top 6 forward and one top 4 D. And if it doesn't work out here with Vancouver and Tyler Myers, I don't think that stops them. You know, they're in the conversation for Quinn Hughes. They're in the conversation for Raz Anderson. In the conversation, of course, now for Tyler Myers. I don't think this dissuades them whatsoever from looking from their top 4D.
Yeah, and it may not dissuade the Canucks either. Dallas, San Jose, Buffalo,
yes.
Boston. There's a number of teams out there also looking for a right shot defenseman.
A super high third's got to be okay too. It's a big league, but
just as soon wait till July 1st where you can deal with a broader marketplace than go high third right now.
I wonder what I do wonder what the here's another thing too. Like we all understand that the situation with Tyler Myers and how specific it is for his family. Players watch this, right? Like players watch things like this, and everybody understands what Tyler Myers is going through right now. And even though there are some managers, and I think of Jarmo Kekalainen, who always says, sometimes you have the hammer, sometimes the player has the hammer. And when I have the hammer, I'm going to use it. I expect when the player has the hammer, he's going to use it. When there's a sensitive family situation, players notice, right? And Rutherford knows this, and Alvin knows this. So this, to me, very much feels like I know we may have the hammer on July 1st, but this one is sensitive, and it's almost as if this is a message to the marketplace type deal. Like when the Buffalo Sabres were going through their situation with Jack Eichel, with the ADR, as opposed to spinal fusion. Players watched that, right? Players looked at that and said, you know what, is this a destination for me? Because I might be Jack Eichel. Joel Farabee went through this. Tyler Johnson went through this. Like afterwards, like what if I want to have that type of autonomy for my own body? And I choose to go to a team that won't allow me to do this. Like, I know there's always, like, the reality of hockey is, of course, you put yourself in positions where you could move. It's what we all deal with. It's what players signed up for. But then, nobody signs up for, voluntarily the situation that Tyler Myers is going through. So it's a long-winded way, guys, of saying this one is a particularly sensitive one, and I think it'll be one that players would watch as well. This one has to be more of a cooperative move, I think, than others.
You mentioned you're in Brantford. You're going to see Caleb Mahotra, Manny's son. You've got a story there for us.
So first of all, and I did ask him, by the way, I said, of all the fan bases online, who's on you the most? Who do you hear from the most? Is it Vancouver? He's like, oh yeah. He knows. Anyone who's mentioned him and said anything about him, and we got to get Malhotra. He's aware. Either he's aware, or he said his teammates tell him as well. So Jay McKee, head coach with the Brantford Bulldogs, told me at the beginning of the season, and again, we always talk about the advantages that second-generation players have. Jay McKee told him at the beginning of the season, he said, I want a list of all the first names of all the linesmen in the OHL. You tell me that is not a Manny Malhotra thing. So you can start to have that personal relationship, not just with the referees, but the linesmen. Hey, Steve. Hey, Dave. Hey, Keith.
That's brilliant.
That is...
You're not waving me out of the circle, right?
Level.
You're waving the other guy
side,
out.
aren't I?
Exactly. Steve, come on.
Dog,
you see, how many times have we done this, Steve?
First-year player in the OHL.
The little
I want
details.
a list of all the first names.
We know he's we knew he was a pro's pro. We knew he was a crafty guy out there, Manny.
You referenced Linden and again.
He's probably
earlier.
still doing it in the AHL with the Abbey Canucks, right?
You referenced
sure.
Ginla and Linden earlier. Those are two guys, same idea, right? They would have done the same things.
Yeah,
with Tej, yeah, and with Tej and Cologne as well, for sure.
I know you got to run. It's a very quick Easter egg. Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux combined together, how many career Olympic goals?
How many Olympic goals?
How many goals from 99 and 66 combined? Our two greatest ever forwards. How many goals have they combined for in their Olympic careers?
It's a trick question.
8.
0.
8. Is it 0?
It's 2.
Oh.
That was my second guess. Was 2.
Both from Mario in Salt Lake City. Yeah. Gretzky 4 helpers, but no goals in Nagano. Have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for this, Jeff.
Good stuff. Thanks, boys. Be well.